In this video, we're going to talk about the algebra properties. The first property we will discuss is the commutative property. The commutative property of addition says that you can add numbers in any order and still get the same result. As well as the commutative property of multiplication, it says that you can multiply numbers in any order and get the same result. Some examples of this property are 5a plus 4 is the same as or equal to 4 plus 5a. You can change the order of things just like your commute back and forth to work, from home to work is the same distance unless you take a different route. It's the same distance from both going from either direction. The multiplication example, 3 times 8 times 5b is also equal to 5b times 3 times 8. Says that you can multiply things in a different order and still get the same result. The next property is the associative property. The associative property of addition says that you can group the numbers you're adding in any way you want and still get the same answer. You can change the grouping, but your result will be the same. The same thing for the associative property of multiplication. It says that you can group numbers when you're multiplying them in any way you want and you'll still get the same answer. Some examples of this are 4x plus 2x in parentheses plus 7x is the same as 4x plus parentheses 2x plus 7x. That you can group them differently and still get the same result. 2x squared times 3y is the same as 3y times 2x squared. That kind of looks a little bit like the commutative property as well, but the associative property says that you can group things differently and still get the same result. The next property we're looking at is the distributive property. The distributive property tells us that if a term is multiplied by the terms in parentheses, then you need to distribute the multiplication over all the terms inside. Example, 2x times 5 plus y in parentheses is the same as 2x times 5, which is 10x, and 2x times y, which is 2xy. Many times students distribute to the first term and forget to distribute to subsequent terms, but the distributive property says that you have to distribute to all the terms inside the parentheses. They help you remember that it could be something like distributing candy, or the warehouse that distributes things to different grocery stores. They have to distribute to all the stores in order to be effective. The fourth property we're looking at is the identity property. For addition, it says that 0 added to any number equals the number itself. 0 is called the additive identity. There's also an identity property for multiplication. It says that the number 1 multiplied by any number equals the number itself. The number 1 is called the multiplicative identity. This is something we already know, maybe didn't know that it had an official name called the identity property of addition or the identity property of multiplication, but it does have a formal name. 5y plus 0 equals 5y, and 2c plus 1 equals 2c. Anything multiplied by 1 is itself. Anything added to 0 is also itself. Okay, so we've covered 4 properties. Now I want you to get yourself ready to do a little short quiz. The quiz is going to ask you to name the identity in each question, or name the property, not the identity, name the property. So question 1. When you're adding 0 to any number results in the original number. Example, a plus 0 equals a. What property is that? Number 2, when 2 numbers are added, the sum is the same no matter the order of the add-ins. For example, a plus b equals b plus a. What property is that? Number 3, when 3 or more numbers are multiplied, the product is the same regardless of the order of the multiples. Example, parentheses, a times b times c equals a times b times c inside of parentheses. Which property? Number 4, the product of any number and 1 equals that number. Example, a times 1 equals a. Name the property. Number 5, when 3 or more numbers are added, the result is the same regardless of the order. You can name the property. Number 6, the product of two numbers is the same regardless of the order. A times B equals B times A. Name that property. And the last question, when the terms inside the parentheses are multiplied by the term outside the parentheses, this property is called the blank. You can fill that in. After you have finished filling in the answers for these 7 questions, you can go to the resources and select the quiz, and the solutions are there. So you can go there and look at the answers and see if you got all the questions correct. All right, see you in the next video. If this video has been helpful to you, then subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when new videos are posted. Also, visit us at 8minutemath.com, where you can see our content and resources and courses, things that are available to you there. Lastly, follow us on Facebook at 8minutemathshelp.com. We look forward to seeing you there.